So people are asking me, why would you even bother getting an old vintage lens that's manual focus, like this Voigtlander 75 millimeter. That's for the M mount on the Leica, compared to kind of like the L mount for Sigma, which is also a 90 millimeter, but it's autofocus. I can get the same equivalent right here, and I'm going to show you. So if I go into my share screen, go into, this is why. $2,800 used, and this is for the M, okay? It's all manual focus, it's not autofocus. That's $2,800, and it's huge, and it's heavy. I don't think they have the weight on there. If I go into the features, nope. So when they put it on used, they don't give main description. So let's go to another one. If I get the Sigma 90 millimeter f2.8, it's fourth of the price. Okay, but it's autofocus. If I go to the Voigtlander, so this is a used eBay. They usually raise the price higher, or they make it compatible of what they paid for it, and then they put it on the bid to see if they can get a higher price, or you can buy it used from a local camera shop for $379. I got mine from my local camera store, the Camera Exchange, for $300. So why get a $2,800 if it's manual focus when you can get an autofocus one for $639? And this is brand new. I can go and search online for a used and get like, what? Cheaper, okay? So, that's enough of the internet. We're going to go back here, take a look at this. We're going to weigh it. So I'm going to turn on my weight scale. I'm going to put on the Voigtlander 75 millimeter. This is all metal construction, and it's 467 grams, 16.5 ounce, or 4 or 5 ounces, or 1.4 or 5 ounces, okay? I'm going to take it off. Now, I'm going to get another lens, and if you look at it, it's a little bit bigger. It's skinnier on the Voigtlander, but the Sigma weighs a lot less. 366 grams. Some metal. It looks like it's all metal. But you see, it's autofocus. It's a brand new lens compared to, it's almost 100. Yeah. Look at that. And if I do this, it's 12.9 ounces, or, yeah, 12.9 ounces, okay? 12.9 compared to the Voigtlander, 16.4. So, this is a more expensive lens. It's brand new. This is a cheaper lens, okay? So I'm looking at 90 millimeters compared to 75 millimeters. I would rather go with the autofocus, less weight, newer. Even if this was only $300, and I got this cheap. Let me look at my thing real quick. Okay. Used, this is the cheapest price, $476. I think I paid like $425 or something like that. So they've gone up in price. I can see one for $423, $412. Okay. So it's about the right price. Okay. That's why I look at it, and you tell me after watching these videos which one you want better. So why do I have a 90mm autofocus lens? Well, I got an auto ISO. I put it at f8, but I can take it off of 8.8 and see what the camera does. So I went to f4 automatically. And you see it focuses. And I may be a little bit too close, yeah. Sometimes with the 90mm, the crutch is if you get too close to an object, it will not come in focus. So the closer you get to an object, let's say you're doing a portrait, make sure the individual or the subject is in focus, and then you can see it kind of poke on the outside. AstroTurf, back up. Now it's in focus. Move a little bit closer. And it's still good. Let's do this rock. Actually, it's part of cement post, but it didn't take. You see how sharp that is? And I can still get close, and you can see it fall off to the side by an inch or two. Now I'm too close. Now it's perfect. So I'm about 2 feet away, okay? So see, it focuses automatically. Now I'm going to put on a manual lens, and I'm going to show you the difference. So you see, it focuses slowly, and as close as I can get. You can see a little focus breathing, but it's trying, but I'm too close. So if I back up, now it's sharp as a tack. So this is at ISO 2000. F-stop is at 4, 1/160th of a shutter speed, and aperture priority. And the Leica SL2S with the Sigma 90mm f2.8. Very tiny, small lens, and it can do macro, by the way. So, this is the Leica. No, I'll take that back. This is a Voigtlander, 75mm, but it's at a f1.8, but I got it at an f4. You hear a bird sounding off big time. But, you see, it's not focusing. So if I move it back to the spot, it's now detecting the knot. But if I move it away, it's not auto-focusing. Now I'm focusing right now. That's the difference. And I'm going to try to find that bird. So this is the 75mm. This is for the M mount. I just don't see the bird, folks. I hear it. Well, what do you think? Is it dreamy? Let's make it a little bit sharper. So you see, still good picture. This is about a $400 lens. Okay, so I got it cheap. But for a 90 millimeter, do you want to pay $5,000 for it? And there's the bird. Found it. You see it? Well, see, now it's that sharp. But you see, this is not as sharp as an autofocus lens, which can do things automatically. And sometimes you have to walk to the subject to get it in focus. So this is at f4. I'm going to put it at 5.6, which should be the sharpest. And that's a lot better. See, it's sharp right now. Now, let's put it on f8. So it was 7.1, I put it at an f8. Does it look sharper? No, it doesn't. That's why you get an autofocus lens. This lens is much heavier than the 90 millimeter Sigma that I was using. And that was a $300 lens. So you can see, that's why I do stuff like this. So if you like taking your time, taking pictures with a manual focus lens, I would argue that it's much easier with an autofocus lens that weighs less, or weighs half than this lens that I'm using, autofocus, and I don't have to mess with the manual focus. That's the difference. So I hope this is helpful. We'll go back in the studio and I'll show you the size and weight of each lens and what you have to do to get it working on the camera. So there you have it. And let me just bring this a little bit down this way. The only thing I didn't say was you got to have an adapter for the lens. And I got a little mixed up with the pricing. So the Sigma 90 millimeter was $425 what I paid for it. You can get it as cheap as $412 now. This is overpriced online, but at my camera store I bought it for $300. And they have used lenses, but this was in the film gear. So they put this in the film gear. And that's why it was so cheap. Okay? No one uses any film cameras anymore. But if you're going to adapt any M-mount lenses, digital or even going from other camera systems, you need an adapter. So that adds another weight. And sometimes it's sharper, sometimes it's not. The Nikon worked very well on this camera with a different adapter. Okay? So this is what you have to think about. Yes, you can, this is cheaper, but with the adapter and stuff, it's still much cheaper than a used lens, but you have to deal with the manual focusing and the aperture. So is it more important to pay an extra, let's say, 75 to 100 bucks for a used lens that has autofocus? Or do you like doing stuff manually and it weighs heavier? So that's my 2 cents on this. I like the lens. I'll keep it in my lens collection, but I think it's a lot easier if I get, see, I have a 65 millimeter, which is 10 millimeters shorter than this. That's a Sigma. So I have a 45, 65. This is 75. I got a 90 millimeter. But then I also have an 85 millimeter and a 50 millimeter. Plus a 35 millimeter now. So I got the full focal range. I got zoom lenses, 24 to 70, 90 to 280, and 150 to 600, all for the L mount. And I love the autofocus. I don't have to worry about it. I just point the camera on there, let the camera decide the settings and stuff, and if I don't like it, then I change it manually for the aperture or for, different settings, either shutter speed or the aperture priority. Or I go into manual and set all the settings that way. So, thank you for watching. I know this is a little bit long-winded. Some people were asking, well, what's so special? Price. And then if you like doing the things the old way, where you do everything manually, yes. But I argue for extra money, you can buy a used lens, autofocus, and less worries. Plus it weighs less, and it's newer than this lens. And then you don't have to use an adapter. I like using adapters because I like changing lenses from other camera systems to see how they work on different camera systems. It's just a hobby. So anyway, thank you for watching. I don't know why I'm not centered. Must have knocked the camera around. This is ZV-E10. Cheaper camera. This is a more expensive camera. I think it's about double the price, maybe even triple. Okay. This is full frame ZV-E1. Okay. This is a ZV-E10. And I can zoom it out. This is just the kit lens, but it looks just as good. Okay. There's a difference. You can get the cheaper camera now, and then if you want to upgrade, you can get the more expensive camera like this one. Can you really tell the difference besides me being bigger? If I put it back at 0 to match this one, can you really tell the difference? So anyhow, thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. Stay safe. Keep smiling. Until next time, I shall see you then. Goodbye, folks. Have a wonderful day.